Aaron of Air and Sea in Utah. How you doing? I hope you don't mind my calling you Aaron of Air and Sea.
It's no problem, my brother.
Nice.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was, it's been a while since I've checked you guys on your Trump worship, if
Nice.
you will. For example, I do enjoy when Mark calls. Mark's pretty based. He's pretty
Yeah.
cool. However, he still, is under the boomerism spell. The Trump deception, and it's just kind of. I mean, could I at least get you guys to admit at this point that, like, you're just kind of vouching for Trump because it's like the only, because nothing's going to change, right? I mean, let's just cut right to it. Let's be real. I mean, let's pretend Trump, did get elected this next time around, or let's pretend he was currently, and let's pretend that election, wasn't stolen. So,
I disavow
you
that
do realize,
statement. It was not. But anyway, yeah,
okay, my bad.
let's pretend that Trump was base America first and was going to get in office. I agree with you. The country's not going to change, no matter how
Yeah,
based or not
nothing.
that he is.
Absolutely nothing's going to change because
Some will
Trump's not
change.
really based.
A little bit will change.
Well,
Stuff did change
uh,
under Trump. Like you when you say absolutely nothing, you mean like the locomotive of America going into hell. That locomotive has not changed, but some stuff did
right.
change. Like American Anchor Baby became a Christian. He used to be an atheist.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
So
maybe to Christianity. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, okay, but the bottom line is like the reason why the elites always win is because they think 10 steps ahead. And what surprises me about what Mark says, he says, "Oh, this has been their plan for a while," and it has been their plan for several centuries now. We know at least. And again, the enemy thinks 10 steps ahead of you, and I feel like you guys, as far as, and again, I love y'all to death. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
I just feel like with the whole Trump situation, I feel like you guys aren't even able to think one step ahead.
right.
Because again, even if you were put in power tomorrow, nothing's gonna change. Immigration's not gonna change. Okay, Trump is again, and I'm not trying to bring up the taboo topic, but again, all you got to do is Google Trump's donors bitch shoot, and you're gonna see he's 100% an operative of the Juice crew. He's completely intermarried.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of a joke, man, honestly. And I think that, what are your thoughts on just going for, a lot of us nationalists, real nationalists, that really care, that aren't just, we'll put the responsibility on Trump, he'll save the day, because that is retarded. Let's be real.
yeah.
What is your thoughts on, like, attempting to pursue that third rail? I mean, shouldn't, like, Jesse and, you and the whole squad there, shouldn't you guys be pushing for shouldn't you be rather preaching a message of, the system is rigged, we need to try our best to get this third option, this third rail going? I mean, what's your thoughts? Because Trump's not going to do anything. And again, I just felt compelled to call, particularly now, because, again, Mark, he calls and he says good stuff, but then he concludes it with all this Trump worship. And Trump's not going to do anything. He's not your buddy. He's not going to do a damn thing. So what is your thoughts on the, just pushing for rhetoric more geared towards the third rail, that third option, just admitting it's rigged, there's nothing, no vote that can save it?
I don't think that we're doing anything different from what you're saying. Like you heard JLP say, the country's over. We're not getting the country back.
So what's his mentality is just don't do anything? I mean,
No, I
not
mean
do nothing.
his mentality is return to your fathers, become men, and whatever
Okay.
happens with the country, it is hell. But you are your world. Your world should not be shaken by the evil going on in the country, or the
Sure,
evil going on
but
against the
being
whites, or the evil going on else among people whom you think that you love and all that stuff.
I guess that would have to be a second schism I have with Jesse. The first one is this whole anger thing. I mean, the only way people stand up for justice, this country was created because people did get angry.
Hmm.
So I do fundamentally disagree with them on the anger thing. If someone accosts you, then it's kind of a joke not to get angry. I think that's again, I love him to death. He says a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
But I do disagree on that. And then I guess secondly, of course, would be I did hear him earlier today say, in fact, the country's gone, like do nothing. And again, in the nationalist movement, there is, at least there was a couple of years ago, there was, again, a schism between the people that are like, oh, let's just, get really holy and stuff like that and kind of focus on ourselves, which to me sounds incredibly selfish. This is a great country. I love it to death. For me to just be like, let me just, sure, build my relationship with God, but kind of take that as a moniker to sit back and do nothing. This is going to have to be the second just fundamental disagreement, I guess.
But you may be misunderstanding. You may be misunderstanding because JLP is not sitting back and doing nothing. He's awakening people or helping awaken people spiritually, shining a light spiritually.
True that.
Every 6 days a week, taking the Sabbath off, Saturday off, and so he's not sitting back and doing nothing. I don't know if you heard his comments about Fani Willis. Probably as strong of comments about that Fani Willis woman, this black woman who's taking over down in Atlanta, pushing evil.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's just sitting back. He's doing every bit as much as any of the the more radical pro-whites or whatever, I think.
No, well, let's not push it here. I mean,
what are they doing? What are they doing more than him?
The squad that I used to roam with, they're, of course, the most productive, the most honorable, the most effective. The government, is trying to the elites are trying to combat them.
I don't know. I don't know the specific squad. You've never doxed them, to your credit, and I don't want to either. But I know that there's people who are very activist.
I think you know. But here's the thing, man. Is again, I do commend Jesse 100%. Okay, no doubt. I love Jesse to death. He's very cool. Okay, but again, the only reason why I just felt compelled to call again was the continuation of the Trump worship. It's not just you, okay? It's a whole squad there. I've talked to the Anka baby as well about it.
Yeah.
The Trump worship, I'm sorry, guys. It is immature, and I'm sorry. It's just dumb. It just is.
I got you, man.
I gotta keep it real with you, man.
But what's worshipful about acknowledging that the man is unique among politicians?
The only unique thing that he did was once he did come in 2016. I do remember the patriotic fervor when he was running and stuff. I was in the Navy at the time, and we were super ecstatic about it. It was cool. Okay, the return of populism. But other than that,
I don't know what populism is.
Oh, just caring about your country. The flyover country's voice should matter. The real American voice should matter once more.
A real American voice should matter. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but that's like kind of the extent. That's kind of where it ends. There is small trivial things, and they're always going to give you these small trivial things to admire about someone that is president.
Is it trivial to admire the man for being a man and standing on what he believes?
Well, if what he believes is not stopping immigration, then I don't care what he believes. Then I could care less.
Oh, I don't care about stopping immigration. That's never going to happen.
Oh, you don't?
No, because it's never going to happen.
If I was in power,
aren't you black-pilled enough to know, or truth-pilled enough to know that it's even you being in power wouldn't stop immigration?
I'm not black-pilled to the degree where I think it's just utter defeat. I do.
It's utter defeat. Physically, the country's gone.
Ooh, hell. I'm just saying my particular ethnic group, the founding stock, even if I'm totally aware that we will become a minority very soon and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's gone. I like jail. The reason I appreciate Trump, and you guys call it worship, and fair enough,
worship,
I guess.
Man. Y'all praising that dude every day. You're praising him every day.
Yeah, but that's because there's something
guilty as charged here, boy.
But there's praiseworthy to be one of the only non-phony politician. Because I think you have like a spiritual blindness. For one, you don't agree about the anger thing, so that's one mark of blindness. Two, you think that Trump should be like you or something, or else he's totally owned by the Jews or something.
Everybody should be just like me. Let's keep
Right.
it real. But
And so this
how
is
do you
not
counteract
realistic.
my statement?
He's
I'd
just
like to
a
know
regular
something.
boomer, New York liberal who loves the country, and there's no question that he loves.
He doesn't. What makes you say he
There's,
loves the country?
there's
He's
no
a legit
question.
billionaire operative elite.
There's no
He loves
question that he
America,
loves the
really?
country.
Yeah, there is. But how do you counter? I want to know how you counteract my statement. Like I told you, 1776 happened because people got angry. So we wouldn't even have this country if people didn't get angry. So how
I
do you
don't know.
counteract that?
I don't know
I'd
if
like
they.
to hear
I
it.
don't know if they were angry or not. They might well have been. I can't
think they
comment
were.
on it.
They were clapping at people, sir. They were angry. But it's okay. I'll just go with Gotti on that. But
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't care. I wasn't there.
oh, okay.
It's
Well,
speculation.
my
It's like
ancestors
saying
were there,
Jesus
and they
was
got
angry. It's like saying Jesus was angry. You're a Christian, right?
Well, yeah, I mean.
And
you
it's
just
like
put a
saying
little
Jesus
ham a
was
couple
angry. You weren't
times.
Jesus, and we're not the founders.
But
And you're
those are
not
my
Trump.
ancestors, sir. I mean,
And we're not Trump, so we don't know what's in Trump's heart, nor Jesus's what was going on in Jesus's heart at that point, nor the founders' heart. And we don't know
I will.
whether the founders were good or evil. Some of them were probably for what was right.
were
Some
good.
of them might not have been.
I will say one thing though, Hank. I am caught off guard by. So you are like black pilled to that degree. I had no idea. I mean, you seem like a relatively.
But
happy
you
guy
sound
from
every
here to
bit.
there.
You're every bit as black pilled as me because you know that Trump getting in office isn't going to be a solution. You just think he's owned by the Jews, and I think he's not owned by anybody. He's his own man,
first off,
regardless of who funds him, and you can tell that he's his own man.
Okay, well, first off,
On some level, he is. There's issues with him, of course. There's weaknesses that you can point out that I guess that I see as weaknesses. You know, he's too nice to the blacks, too nice to the gays, too nice to the women. Works with people, but he has to work with people to get anything done. So I don't have blind eyes about Trump like you think that I have. I think.
I mean, it just don't seem like that, man. You know,
but you jumped. But you have this blindness about you. You think anger is necessary to get any good done when things are dire, and you
if
think
someone
that
violates me, they're going to pay the price. I'm not going to be passive. When I was younger, I was passive, the bully on the playground.
So you went,
yeah, getting attacked, stuff like that. You know, as soon as I started not tolerating much and having a shorter fuse, life became so much easier when it comes to dealing with other men, and especially when it comes to dealing with these hoes. But look, I just want to say two things real quick, Hake.
Yeah.
First off, I don't think that Trump is controlled by the Juice Crew. I don't think that. Okay, there's rock solid proof. I don't have to ponder it. Okay, I know for a fact. All right.
But your basis is just on his funding, is not on how he acts.
Well, people are controlled by who funds them. Again, another common sense thing in life.
Who funds you?
I mean, come on. My current employer. Yes, you could say they have a certain hold on me to a degree. Now, they don't pay me enough to where they can like control what my speech is and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also at the second time,
is there any other option to Trump who's a legitimate, real option? Who's not funded by them?
I'm so glad that you said that.
Right.
Just by you admitting that, okay, you prove exactly.
I didn't admit anything. I did not admit anything. I'm just going by what your mindset is. I'm not admitting anything.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of my call was to get you to confess that. Oh, what other options do we have? We have to pick the lesser of two evils. That's exactly.
No, that's not lesser of two evils.
It's not.
You're just putting words in my mouth now. Just like you're assigning intentions on Trump.
Well, you said the best option. Like I can read between the lines on that, Hake. Like,
but you're reading the wrong thing between the lines. There is nothing between the lines. You're pretending like it's this horrific thing that Trump is funded by Jews. Who's not funded by Jews? Who's like going to be a candidate?
And if the problem's not solved to a fine.
But I never admitted that Trump is controlled by them.
Oh, well, he is. I mean, but again, you were saying that even if he ends up in
you're
office,
controlled by
it's not
them.
a solution. I'm controlled by the
Yeah,
Juice
you are.
Crew?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny, my brother. How you figure?
Because this is what you're talking about. This is what matters to you with regard to Trump.
Yeah, I mean, talking about who's destroying my land. yeah,
They're one of them.
I don't know.
They're one of them, but you're
Uh,
part of it. You're part of the destruction too. You know that?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Especially when I reflect upon my life. All right, that's deep, Hake. I guess you got me on that with my brother. But a
See?
second ago, again, you were saying that if Trump ends up in office, it's not a solution. So what does that mean? If there's a problem we encounter in life as men, if we don't see any solutions, what do we do?
It's
right?
not our problem.
How did they invent and innovate and create this, great existence for us? We simply keep searching for another solution, an actual solution. When you're solving an algebra problem and you get the wrong solution, guess what? You got to keep going until you find the right solution, even if it makes you go around in circles, drives you crazy, no matter how hard.
Is it God's
or,
calling on your
whatever.
life to save the country?
As an American, it's like isn't it your duty to defend your homeland? Is that not a duty now? That's not a calling now? And I actually did take an oath. I was in the U.S. military. I actually took an oath against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I pray to God. I really do mean this. I pray that during my life, I do get a chance to prove myself in that context. I mean, what would be more honorable than that? Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna save the country?
You
think
mean
God's
by
gonna
myself?
You think God's gonna help you save the country?
Why wouldn't he? He helped create this country in the first place, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Right. I don't see why he wouldn't lend
He helped
a
create
hand.
Israel too, and look at Israel now.
Didn't
Didn't he help found Israel, the Israel of the Bible? Look at Israel now.
No, the devil created age.
No, I'm talking about the one that he founded in the Bible. I'm not talking about the UN creation.
Sure. I mean, I guess you can have that one.
And was it? Did God swoop in and help the people, the men at the time who were for what's right? Because there were men who were for what's right in the Israel of the Bible. There were a few, right? There's always been a remnant of people from Israel who still believed in God. He didn't help them swoop in and save that country. He let the country fall.
So you're going to let our country fall?
What choice do I have? You're letting it fall too, even though you're trying. You're grinding your wheels. Chilling.
I don't know. Again, I understand. I mean, again, you guys always get like hyper philosophical, but the thing is like, as an American, okay, if I look at my country's history, I look at the ancestral lineage that I come from. If I look at that, it's supposed to be don't tolerate unrighteousness and wrongdoing. That's the lesson that I get from it.
In yourself,
I think the Constitution is in place.
In yourself and in maybe
violated.
your church.
No, not in myself. I'm not talking about like being patriotic, etc. Like the values that I have from the founding of the country, and again, the ancestral lineage. That tells me not to allow people to just walk all over you. And for my personal life, when I don't let people walk over me when I do...
Wait. Do you see Trump, Jesse Lee, Hake letting people walk all over us?
No. Again, I told you the whole purpose of my call was to get you to admit, we're just going with the, what other option do we have? I got to have Trump, man, and nothing's going to change if he gets.
But I really don't see. I don't see Trump as necessarily excessive. I'll grant that he is. He's working with Jewish people. Yeah. But he didn't do any new Jewish wars or whatever you guys claim. So as one of the people who are controlled by the Jews, he's like the best one. And I don't even see him as an evil. I didn't like Mitt Romney, but I love Trump. I didn't like at all John McCain, but I voted for those two, right? When there was no other option.
Why like Trump independent of that? Why not lump him in with the rest of the District of Criminals personnel? Why not just put him in there?
Because of his spirit.
Again,
I'm not even taking all the stuff that you said necessarily away from you. Because there's issues.
You can't.
I mean, you're going a little far, but you don't see the spirit of the man.
How was I'm going far? I mean, what have I said that you think is a fallacy?
I don't want to get into it because of time, It was it was the thing that we already argued about, the Jewish, that he's completely controlled by the
Oh,
Jews.
well, but
He's
again,
controlled by
let's
all
pretend.
kinds of different things. I mean, he's controlled, if you will, influenced, if you will, has to compromise, if you will, with all kinds of different people and things, some who are against him, some who pretend to be for him.
And let's take the juice crew out of the equation. I mean, like Mark said,
But
and
you
again,
don't see
Mark
how
is
this
very good.
man, and then I got to move on, and we'll talk again about it. We can. But you don't see how this man says what he said about Charlottesville. It wasn't perfect what he said about Charlottesville, maybe, but he was the only one saying it. And he stood on that.
These are small, but
Those aren't small things.
Again.
These are small examples of the spirit of the man who stood on the truth against a whole lot of pressure by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He stood on, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some I assume are good people. He stood on the alt-left. They were doing a lot of the violence in the Charlottesville situation. He stood on, they're going to tear down all these monuments. I'm not for that. They're going to, all the Confederate monuments, and who's next? George Washington. He stood on the election, the big lie about the election, 2020 election, the big lie that it was stolen. And I disavow that lie, but I love that he stood on it.
Sure.
And there's no other man who's like that.
Wait. So the 2020 election, you think it wasn't stolen, or you just trying
Of course I know that it
YouTube
wasn't
friendly?
stolen for the sake of my channel.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying about sure. Maybe
So there's the cuff with people. I don't think that's mere charm. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm fooled. I could be a little bit fooled. We should keep a space between us and any man whom we admire or criticize.
Can I say this, though? Even if Trump was, to be held in such a high regard, like you're saying, based off of his character, let's pretend he really was all that and a Big Mac. The problem is, and again, Mark, when he calls in, he understands this. The immigration is the immigration is the primary factor. If people aren't talking about immigration, then they ain't talking about nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
And he's the only one talking about it. He's the one who brought that to the forefront in 2016 and to this day. And he was actually pretty good on the immigration thing. He made a dent in the situation.
I lived in San Diego at the time. Man, they were still flooding daily because I don't know what you talking about. Didn't one of the caravans come through on his watch, too? I mean,
yeah.
Right.
They were trying to flood in as much as they could because they were panicking and they were trying to overrun it and break him. And so you fell for the psyop, pretending to blame that Trump is to blame for that, when it's not Trump to blame for that.
I guess you're right. The president, at the end of the day, is just a figurehead, doesn't have any real power. But
especially when he's alone, especially when his whole cabinet is against him, and the deep state, if you will, all those agencies are against him, and the courts are against him. What can he do?
Well, that just proves my point even more, that it's ineffective and it's useless.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
we're on the same page on that Trump is not going to save the country. I just like seeing him in office. You're going to vote for him, right? That's a leading question.
No, I only participate in elections that matter. I mean, why would I? What's the point?
You don't participate in elections?
I don't even think, I'm going to be real with you. It's just my personal opinion. I don't think votes have really been counted since probably the 60s, or I think JFK was the last real president where they literally counted the votes, and they were like, you know what, we're not going to take any chances anymore.
Last quick question.
That's just my opinion.
Last quick question. JFK, sure. Evil or good?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one, my brother.
People don't like how you talk black. You talk like you're from Wigger side.
That's awesome. But anyway,
you think that's awesome?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I could care less what the chat likes. I'm the real.
The chats are decent people, man. You shouldn't be rejecting. Trump is your brother in Christ, and so are these chat people. Don't reject their constructive criticism.
From New York.
Okay, evil or good? Evil or good? JFK.
I have to be honest. I keep it 1,000. I honestly don't know. He comes from a family of crime, right? Weren't they kind of crime?
They are Irish.
Like a crime. Well, that's cool. That's based on
that's
Irish
not based.
Power.
No, I'm kidding, Irish people.
Power.
I'm joking. Sean's gonna come in here and beat me.
But anyway, I think elections are again, it's all just.
I got to run, man. It's good. It's good talk.
All right, yes, my pleasure. Good.
All right, take care, man. Whew. I blew through the break. I did. And we're going to keep on